Okay, I just saw the spinning ball of death and got a notice, but hi everybody. Yeah, I saw the circles too. And I don't know if I'm coming through as a Dalek here or not. Let me double check everything here. Okay, everything's good. All right. It's been chaos the last half hour. I tried to set up everything earlier today, and then at about 3:10, 3:15, as I was getting ready to come down here and test everything out and go on to Richard's live stream, um, I get a text from my son-in-law, and they're going to come over and get the crib I built for the baby. They're ready to take it over there. And all of a sudden, I had to go get it out of the garage and get it ready, and then explain how you put it together. I'm sure I'll get text about that. So it was just, it was more like 3 o'clock, but yeah. So all of a sudden, I was panicking getting that, and then I didn't come down here. And while I'm trying to get everything ready for this stream, I'm watching Richards, and I'm missing Richards because after I get the crib packed up and go, I get down here and try to get everything set up, and all of a sudden Joyce comes in, and she's got everything she's got to tell me, and I'm like, I'm trying to set up here, and it was just crazy. And then my OBS was acting up, and it was acting up just as I started doing this. So anyhow, let's see who's here. Do it again. Bow, bow, bow. Hey, Chris, Ed Sutherland, nice to have you here. Carl, Bangotchi Junction. Jackie, we're okay. It's been a hectic week, very stressful week for me and for Joyce. She's had a couple of other parents giving her all kinds of unwarranted grief because the parents are idiots. Um, Lee, good to have you here. Let's see. Stephen Price, nice to have you. Randall Ellison, welcome, and we've knighted you now. You get your own royal spanner. You are now a knight of the rhomboid table, as I always announce. Except I do it in my mock Queen Elizabeth voice. You're now a knight of the rhomboid table. Thank you for subscribing. You may quit very quickly. Nothing here for train modelers. Let me see. Joel, hey, nice to have you here. I was just getting started. Yeah, we're delayed a bit. Colin and Tim JD, always awesome to have you as well. Lee, got you here. There, Randall. You can now see you are knighted. And Leslie, hi Leslie, good to have you here, sir. My good sir. And by the way, my son-in-law is now here. I was just mentioning. That we had to do that. Chris, if you're still on and listening, I will. If you're not sure how to go, everything is lettered. Tab A, slot A, tab B, slot B. And then there's just 8 screws that go, one in each corner. There's only one hole, so you should be able to figure out screw in that. But if not, just call me after I get off my stream, and we'll get you going on that. So hopefully you'll like it. The big thing is, Chris, don't put the frame together and then try to put the bed in. Put the mount, put it mostly together. Make sure the bed's in, then tighten the screws because it was designed to be snug. Let me see. Mark Saunders. Hello, Mark. That's a new name. Welcome, sir. And I think I'm now caught up with everybody I needed to greet. So there, that's just hectic. My day has been slow and boring all day, and then all of a sudden at 3 o'clock everything got going and I'm happy for it. It's not a complaint. It is what happened. We don't have a song today. This week's just been too hectic to get a song recorded and out there. I didn't even find one to write, and like I said, I have about 3 backlog now because we took care of one of the backlogs. I've only got 3 songs backlog, but we still can't find music to do the song the way we want to do it. And so I haven't been listening to a lot of music this week. It's been really a crazy week with work, and I've been teaching from home instead of going into work. but that has its own challenges, especially when I'm sitting here because I'm teaching in front of my train set and, attempted to run my trains instead of teach. It's a horrible thing. I need to retire. My first thought's not my job. It's time to leave my job, but there it is. All right. So anyhow, what do we have planned for all you wonderful people today? It's so good to see you guys here on a Friday. Hey, Kieran, there you are. So anyhow, today I've got 2 different trains on the track. I left the short side short. I'm going to start running the trains, and then you guys can catch in and see the changes as we go. But, I did a 5-minute test here right before I went live, only to have one of my cameras die, and I had to reboot OBS a couple of times. OBS has been acting up because I tried to add a 6th camera. It's my fault, not OBS. I tried to add a 6th camera, and all my cameras started fighting with each other. It was like one too many cats in the pen, and all of a sudden they were all fighting each other. So all my cameras went nuts. But let's see what we got happening here for you. We'll go to Longview. Somebody suggested yesterday that I run a freight train, and I said, what the heck, let's get the freight train out. And then the special train. And let's see if I can get it going here. I got to get it on the right. Where is it? Where is it? But here you can see it. What the heck? It's December. It's Christmas time. This is the only chance this train will have to be on this layout for Christmas, because it will be going upstairs next week when I put it around the Christmas tree. I'll be putting my Christmas tree up this week, but we got to train the cats to leave the Christmas tree alone. So we do have a freight train going, and I put up my little Miracle Christmas train. I did put some fluid in the smokestack, so I'm hoping it will start smoking soon. But we've got the little diesel, the blue railjet, the green Alex is coming by. So we got some holiday colors a bit. But he's not blowing smoke yet. So oops. Crank him speed up a bit. Let's crank this guy speed up a bit. He's going a little slow. Alright, I'm going to stop this guy right here. Let's see, you found a really cool 210.4. I think I was reading you talking about that in another chat. Andrew T., how are you? Hey, David, nice to see you. Anyhow, I've got to add a little... smoke steam juice. So some of this is for the locomotive, some of this is for me. Oh, yes, Daddy likes. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that, kids. Ah, there we go. Now he's smoking. Now he's smoking. So let's get him back in motion here. There you guys go. Whoops. Sorry about that. I bumped it. I'm always bumping it. Let's go to this view. But there you go, guys. Yes, he steams and he puffs in unison with the sound. So that's pretty cool. But that's my Christmas train. We bought that for Christmas last year. It was amazing. I never intended on buying that train, but my friend Steve had it, and he brought it down for Christmas a couple of years ago. My wife liked it. And then last year for Christmas, I'm setting up our old big plastic Walmart cheapo G-scale train around. And she's like, can we have a real train around the tree? And I looked at her like, define real train. She's like, does Miraklin make a Christmas train? I was like, well, of course they do. Remember Steve's? She's like, yeah, would you like to buy it? Yeah, we'll buy it. So that's my one steamer. It will be joined by another steamer next year. Hey, David Cook. Am I missing anybody else? So David Cook, I got Andrew T. So I'll drop this down to the 11-lane view so you can see him steaming up as he comes around. Just for you guys, hang on. There, how's that for taking care of my audience? That's a little better. That's a little better. I didn't like the way that camera was looking. I actually moved it a bit, but I think I'll put it back to its original spot later. Hey, Mark, Uncle Dad. So yes, hey, you got two things happening here. I'm running freight and a steamer. That's only happened one other time in my live streams. I'm running a freight train and a steamer. So let's catch all the cameras here and see how you guys are doing. Anybody else come in? Mark, nice to see you. To refill it, I think it lasts 5 to 10 minutes, Stephen. I am running freight, and don't call me Shirley. But it definitely, you can see it's been, about 5 minutes since I pumped it up. But if you see it coming in, you can see it's already pumping a little less right now. But there you guys go. Anthony Dodge is running a steamer. It is a Christmas steamer, including the first, its new car. Miraklin makes a Christmas car every year, and so we got this year's Christmas car. I don't know that there's a good camera to really show it. I need to get a camera that's more side angle where you can see everything coming around. But there he goes. But yeah, so we've got 5 cars on them because some of the cars, when we looked at them at a shop about 2 hours from here, a little more than 2 hours from here, that sells some of the Miraklin stuff, some of the yearly cars just aren't cool looking, or they look too weird for us. Joyce doesn't like them, so we only buy the ones Joyce liked. But we do have the last, five of the last 7 years. That's what we have, 5 of the last 7-year cars. Hey, Aberystwyth! Awesome, you're here too. And Chris, I don't think I said hi to you, but hi, Chris. Somehow I missed that, but just in case I did. So, okay, we can go back to all scenes. But yep, I'm running a freighter. But yeah, I'm putting my tree up tomorrow. I might start it tonight, but I'm going to put my tree up tomorrow. But we've got these 2 new cats, and we got to see how they're going to react to the tree. Yeah, going around the corner there, you can kind of see the cars. Next time it comes through, I'll go large again. We have a lot of the Welsh here. That wasn't quite Welsh, was it? Every time I try to do Welsh, I do Monty Python Welsh. I start doing Terry Jones Welsh. He was Welsh. Oh, you stinking liar! You don't think I know the binomial theorem? Just no, yeah, just no. No, you can't tell me no. That's just a challenge to keep going. It's all those people that have asked me to stop doing songs, and so I've kept doing songs just because people keep begging me no. And then if you try to use reverse psychology, like, hey, do another song. Well, then it'll be, okay. Hey, Jason, welcome in. The Train Freak is here on this auspicious occasion. For not only am I running a steamer and a freight train, I also do not have the Railjet or the ICE-3 running. That's a first. You people are witnessing history. I am not running my Railjet, my ICE-3, and I am running a freight train and a steamer. Now, yes, the steamer's a Christmas train. Oh, I forgot to switch camera. Ah, he'll come back around again. I know, it is sacrilege, Stephen. But, yeah, I parked them all, and I was like, nope, we're just going to leave all the... In fact, I have no ICEs. I don't even have the ICE-2 out. Darn it, darn it, darn it. I'm going to miss it now. Yep, I missed it. Oh, well. But there he is, still steaming. So what? It's been about 10 minutes since I got him started steaming. Yep. Choo-hoo! All right, guys, just for you steam people again. Kieran, I hope you're ready. I know somebody asked me before, and I was wrong. I forget if it's a BR1 or a BR5. That doesn't mean anything. It's a... Is it a 264? 064? It's a 462. That's what it is. It's a 462. But yeah, it's running out of its steam now. It's coming around again. And that's with the volume turned down on it. Well, Aberystwyth, it's real easy. How I get my steamer up to speed in 10 minutes? It's called a controller. I turn it on, I crank it, and the thing's rocket. If you're going to give me grief about the P word, thou shalt be removed. We don't do the P word here. You ought to just be damn grateful I'm running a steamer. Ingrates, you get a free steamer loco run and you sped it up too fast. Blue and white, that could be a something Bavarian. Those Bavarians love their blue and white. So what else is everybody up to? So a hobby shop. A Miraklin DB car for sale, blue and white. Mr. Aberystwyth, you know what the P word is. That would be cool, Train Freak. Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing it. Joyce is already frustrated because I said I don't need any more freight cars, and everybody's like, sure you do. Actually, I probably could use some flatbeds. I got a bunch of containers, but no container wagons for them, so I probably could use a couple of flatbeds to throw my containers, my leftover containers. See, Ed Sutherland, there's nothing wrong with the P word in and of itself. It's just when it gets used. If somebody likes their layout and their trains to be the P word, I'm all for it. They look awesome. They're great. They put a lot of work and effort into it. But it's when they start going, that train, that locomotive would have never pulled those cars because those cars are from the 1930s and that locomotive went out of service in the 1920s. Shut up, don't ruin people's fun. If they got a locomotive and they got cars, be happy they're doing the hobby. It's sort of like the F word. The F word's not really a bad word. Everybody thinks it is. But there's a lot of times you like to hear the F word. It's context. When it's used, it's a bad word. My best friend greets me as, "Hi, you old son of a bitch," every time he sees me. It's the context of the word. Yes, it is. I've only been in the hobby for about 5 years, officially 5 years now. Yes, I have met a lot of the rivet counters. I've seen them on. I have actually been severely mocked twice on a UK channel because of my lack of the P word. And the fact that my channel doesn't really do anything for model trains. I'm like, I'm not doing my channel for model trains. I'm doing my channel for me. Hey, Paul. Good to see you. Oh, I drop F-bombs all the time. I accidentally did it once while teaching and got in trouble for it, but I was explaining something in linguistics to my students one time and got carried away with the routine I was doing and dropped the F-bomb. Oops. It's not like these kids don't go out in the hall and say it every other word anyhow, but the teacher's not supposed to be saying it in front of the students. I wasn't laughing about it at the time. I was being threatened with suspension over it. Wow. Well, that's why we all preach Rule 1. We all preach Rule 1. It's your layout. Do what you want. It's your train table. It's your circle. If it makes you happy, you do it. What makes me happy are German passenger trains. So I would never feel lost if I didn't run a freighter. But since I have a freighter, I do get it out from time to time. Plus, Joyce bought everything on it for me. Oh, I shouldn't say that. My friend Herb donated some of it to me as well now. There's a couple of cars on it that Herb gave me. Thank you, Herb, if you're out there. Hey, 187, why don't you got your lights on, man? There you go. You didn't have your headlights on. No, I did this before, Jason. I don't know if you were here, but one of my favorite bits is from George Carlin about the F word. And he said, if you want to see what word is really bad, why it's okay to say kill, but it's not okay to say the F word, is watch any war movie or any American cowboy western, and every time they say any form of the word kill, substitute the F word with it. You'll die laughing. It's hysterical. You just substitute the F word. Well, Sheriff, you killed my brother. Now my men and I are here to kill you. We're going to kill you good, Sheriff. But I do still have some containers. I still have 3 container cars of the, 80-foot length? And I got 2 of the 40-footers yet, so I could use a couple more flatbeds. Now, 2 of these are from a Portuguese company. They're HO scale. They're from a Portuguese company called PTT. Portuguese Train something. But PTT. You can look them up, ptt.com. P, the 3 letters, PTT. They open, but the detail in them is actually quite good for small container wagons. But they open up. You could actually put cargo in there if you wanted. But the detailing, if I can get that on the camera, where's the camera? There's the camera. Just well done, I think, for container cars, and they're not expensive. Now, I don't know too many American places that are selling them, but they're pretty good. I got that one. And then another German company, MSC. So I need to get flatbeds for these. So I don't know. Maybe I'll mention that to Joyce. She's still got time. Well, Dale, the highball and hogger, how are you, sir? Yeah, the camera is in front of me, but angle of the camera is very interesting when I'm trying to get something in view, because technically if I hold something straight in front of the camera, it's above it. You actually have to find the spot above, like it's right there where actually it takes it into view. So yeah, I probably could use a couple of flatbeds. I do have one more flatbed. It's this one, but it always disconnects, uncouples, decouples, anti-couples, whichever one. But I like that. It's good. Let's see. Philip Page. Hello, sir. One of these days, I got to set up a layout on my kitchen counter, except Joyce wouldn't be happy with it. Actually, doing it on our kitchen counter would look more like a finished layout than my table, because we got this really nice green marble. Well, it's not marble, it's quartz countertop that we picked out a few years ago when I remodeled the kitchen. But next time that steamer comes around, I'll reload them up with some juice. But yes, everybody, advertise your pages here. You know, a lot of the nice sites, they will do page call outs. I can't. If I call out one page, I feel bad and start calling out everybody's page. So go to everybody's page on here and join. Like one of their videos and then they won't disconnect you. All that thing about, oh, you gotta comment and keep going back. Guys, there are pages I'm a member of that I haven't commented on in 2 years because they haven't posted anything in 2 years. See, you just put a couple of drops in, it's already smoking. Smoking! I am starting to run out of this. Fortunately, I just ordered a big bottle of it. Are you ready? Are you ready, Aberystwyth? Here it goes. Nice and fast. Warp Speed by a steamer. The Santa Express, piloted by Captain James T. Kirk. Yeah, what's going on with Jenny Kirk's Monday Club that people are posting videos for it? I subscribe to Jenny, but I haven't joined in her live stream in forever because there's just too many people in there, and I'm not one of the cool kids that gets to go to the front of the class. See, we try to be a supportive community. We're not always. You know, I hate to be sarcastic but you know, whenever somebody's like, we are a wonderful community. No, we're not. We're humans. And there are jerks among us and people that are egomaniacs and people that will stab another channel in the back if they got a chance. But we try. We try to be good. We try to be a good community. But in the end, we're made up of humans, and humans come in all varieties. I just left. I unsubscribed from a couple of channels and left a big train group because I was very angered by the way they handled a couple of things. It's like we're supposed to be supportive and everything else, and to intentionally portray something the way it wasn't just annoyed me beyond belief. And then to try to rally everybody to hate on the people that they were mad at was just, in my opinion, really lowbrow, low. But I'm done. Hey, Warwick Road Andy, I'm sorry I missed you. Nice to have you here. But that's me. I try to support. I can't support everybody. It's like, you know, everybody. And people, again, don't take this the wrong way. But so many people want you to join their channel, which is you pay a monthly fee, or Patreon. And I can't, because the minute I would Patreon one channel, I would feel bad that I wasn't giving $1 or $5 or $10 a month to everybody. And I'm not poor by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not rich either. I'm solid, the disappearing American middle class. But I just really could not start donating to everybody's channel. So, like, if somebody's doing a fundraiser like Richard at Trains in the Attic, then I will contribute to that. I contributed a little bit of money to the thing Michael McCarville and Heath were doing about getting trains to kids. You know, it's a fabulous thing, so I don't want to be out of that. But I can't give a monthly stipend to all the channels I'd want to give, because you'd all be getting money from me, and then I'd have no money for my trains. And then I'd be begging you all for money. Yeah, I can be that way too. I mean, there's a couple of channels that are monetized, that people give that particular person a lot of money, and I'm like, that dude has 800 trains, 800 locomotives. He doesn't need $10 from me. But at the same time, I have absolutely no problem. If you can be monetized and are looking to be monetized, go for it. If you can make a buck, make a buck. I'm not a communist. If you can make a fair dollar, make a fair dollar. I'm not into people who screw people for money. And by screw people for money, I mean rip them off or con them out of their money. But, if you can make money showing videos of trains and people will donate that money to you, go for it. I got no problem with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Go for it. You can get monetized on YouTube. Go for it. Just don't forget us little people when you make it big. Exactly. And so many people I know do that, Jason. They put it back into what they're doing. And Sparky does that. People get Sparky, and I'm never upset with anybody. I've given Sparky money before, just to say thanks for the channel. I just can't do it on a monthly basis, because the minute I give Sparky 10, my brain says, well, I need to give Chris a tenner, and I need to give Jason a tenner, and I need to give Leslie a tenner, and because I'm so egalitarian that way. I want to give everybody, and I can't do that. So just come up with a good fundraiser, like Richard at Trains in the Attic. The link I posted in one of my videos wasn't working, I noticed when I clicked on it this morning, because I went in and gave some money. I know it's a UK thing, but if there's one fundraiser that will always get me opening my wallet, it's cancer. It's anything that raises money for places that treat people with cancer, either hospices or cancer treatment places, because I have lost, just in the last 6 years, I have lost so many friends. I'm talking a lot of friends. 6 without even starting to count the others that I have lost just in the last 6 years to cancer. I lost a sister in her 30s to cancer. I have had friends and family devastated by their loved ones that I didn't know lose to cancer. We've got people that come to my live stream that have loved ones suffering and dying from cancer. That's always going to pull at my heartstrings more. Yeah, Philip, and I understand that too. And in America, we don't have a basic pension. When I retire in a year and a half, 18 months to go, I mean, I could retire tomorrow, but Joyce would hit me with a frying pan, because I would lose. There's a couple of things we want to pay off and a couple of things we want to do before I retire. But I take a huge pay cut when I retire, like anybody would. That's why I am desperate to be able to travel this coming summer, and then England in 2022. I want to make it back to Germany this coming summer, and then the following summer I want to go, is my trip to the UK, regardless of what happens this year. 2022 is the UK. But Man, because traveling to Europe is going to become a very rare thing once I retire. Well, well, I did say the UK, Chris. I thought Scotland was part of the UK. But yes, I will definitely be in Scotland. Scotland, as we say in German. Scotland. Scotland. Did I say England? I'm sorry. The UK, England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland. I will be hitting off 4.5. We'll hit part of Ireland. I just don't know which part. Northern Ireland or the Independent Republic of Ireland. And if I remember correctly, Chris, you're from bloody England as well. Although I've got a friend, Dean McConnell, who is of Scottish descent, and he spits anytime he says the word England or the English. The English, puh. England, puh. Yes, Joyce and I will be in the United Kingdom or Great Britain. The British Isles and the Emerald Isle in 2022. Yes, we've got that. It was supposed to be 2021, but when our trip to Germany this year got canceled, we had to push it back till next year, which pushed our trip to the United Kingdom, Great Britain, the dominions of Queen Elizabeth, and the people who flipped her fingers off at her. Because we plan on spending just like 2 or 3 days in London, just probably take one of the bus tours, and then there's a couple of places I specifically want to see in London. But I don't want to hang out in London too long because as cool as it might be, London to me is something you go see and then move on from. But definitely I want to spend a couple of days in Liverpool and catch all the Beatle places. There's castles I want to see in Wales and Scotland and Northern England. I definitely might try to stop off at Somerset, whatever that town is in Somerset where my relatives came from, the Dodge part of me. Hello, Jackie again. No, England just let him over. England let him go. Scotland didn't know what they were getting, and then when he tried to come back, England wouldn't let him back in. No, mate, you want it over there, you stay over there. Right. Got that big freighter going around. We'll catch everybody come around. Just watching circles. Holy cow, we're up to 30 today. And Yorkshire, why not? After watching a couple of videos of on Richard, I saw pictures of the city of York, and my daughter just got done raiding York as a Viking in Assassin's Creed. Yeah, I could go to York and see that too. The thing is, there's just so many things. I mean, let's face it. There's some stuff to go see at Crewe. There's the National Railway Museum. And there's a lot of people I'd like to see. And the minute I say, yes, I'll come there, it might be somebody else. So I might just have to hit a region and say, okay, those of you who know me and love me or want to punch me in the nose, I will be in this part of this region, and I will be there for a day or two. Come and hang out. Because there's no way I could visit everybody and every place that would be cool. I'd have to live in England forever. which is not necessarily a bad idea. But you guys getting upset with me celebrating July 4th and saying, down with the king, might annoy you, and me making fun of Prince Charles and the royal family all the time, because I'm definitely not a royalist. Sorry. You know, that's part of the reason we left you guys. And I know you tried to make up for it. You gave us the Beatles. We gave you rock and roll. You gave us the Beatles. It was a fair trade. You got our Elvis, and you got our Chuck Berry and all that, and you gave us the Beatles and a whole bunch of other groups. But then again, you tried to give us Herman's Hermits, and all right, let's face it, that wasn't exactly cool. Then you tried to give us some of that bad punk rock. We got the good punk rock, but you got some of the bad punk rock. And then we gave you some bad punk rock in return. But, you know, we try to trade, but find somewhere interesting and people will go to you. Cool. Carnarvon Castle in Wales. Everybody meet me there. Because that would be cool. I want to see Carnarvon Castle. I'm probably saying that wrong now because my brain's farting. No, but if you we'll bring our music and a few more songs along, and Joyce and I will sing for you happily, and then we'll get kicked out of the country. That would start the third American-UK war. Right, you bloody Americans sent this chap over who can't carry a note if it had handles and a pack mule with it. Karaoke night gone wrong. Indeed. I'll try to do my Cat Stevens impersonation for those of you of an age to know who Cat Stevens was. He actually has gone back to using that as a touring name. He goes on tour now and then does concerts. He's gone back to Cat Stevens. He's still Yusuf Islam now. But I love Cat Stevens. I really do. Oop, ran out of steam already. Well, let's just turn that off. See, I always say it as Carnarvon, or even Carnarvon, but I usually say it as Carnarvon. It's a big castle. It's a cool castle, and ever since I saw it highlighted on a show when I was a teenager, it's like, I will see that before I die. Because I love castles. I love castles. Yes, Cat Stevens is still alive. Yes, Andrew T. Now, again, we might disagree because, are they still here? Somebody sent me a song that was disco, and of course, I hate disco. I loathe disco, and some of you may like disco. I don't like techno dance music from the 80s. Can't stand it, and some people like that. We all have our taste. But any of the pop music today, the Katy Perry stuff, bleh, Rihanna, Beyonce, all that stuff, bleh. I'm a rock and roller, but I'll also do punk, and I do like some country music. But my love of country music died in the 1980s when country went disco. And all the country music that comes out today is so, to me, is crap. I like old country. Old country and old western. But modern country today is just garbage to me. I can't stand any of them, from Tug McGraw to anything. I mean, maybe a young Reba McEntire, I might tolerate some of her music, but other than that, no. To me, country music died in the early 1980s when it went pop and then when it went disco and pop. When Achy Breaky Heart became the big country music song, that was the end of it. That was the last nail in the coffin. Don't stop my heart. My achy, breaky heart, go away. And then that bastard not only gave us a crappy song, he gave us a crappy acting and singing daughter, too. Ugh, go away. The Kardashians of country. I need to do the My Ding-a-Ling song as a train song. How could I still have the naughty bit about it? See, the problem is, what's his name? Who did the rocket? The first train, the first passenger train or whatever. The rocket, Richardson's rocket, something like that. Oh God, I love Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash did something I consider very difficult to do. He took a song I liked by a group, and I usually say never mess with the originals. But Johnny Cash's version of Nine Inch Nails' song Hurt is the best version of that song. Oh my God, I cry every time I watch that video because June Carter died 6 months after that video, and he died 10 months after that video. I cry every time I see it because she knows she's dying. She knows he's dying. They both know they're dying in that video. And yet his version of that song is, oh my God, if you've never seen Johnny Cash sing Nine Inch Nails song Hurt, oh my God, that is one of the best covers songs done in the last 50 years. Stevenson's Rocket. My ding-a-ling, my Steve. Yeah, can't do it. Because see, you could still mess with Rocket. Four syllables. Stevenson's Rocket. 5 syllables. Yeah, it's not going to work. My HST. My HST. Won't you play with my HST? Roy Orbison's good. Buddy Holly. I respect Elvis. I was never an Elvis fan. And I do like his older stuff before he went Hollywood. After he went Hollywood, I respect his influence, the fact that Elvis brought rock and roll to white America. Elvis took black music and made white people like it. Because rock and roll was black. I respect his influence. I respect what he did. But I was never a fan of his music. But if I do listen to anything Elvis, it's his early stuff, his pre-Army stuff. But I was just never a big fan of Elvis. And partially because he didn't write his own songs. I always have a lot more respect for people who write their own stuff. A lot of groups will start by covering, even the Beatles started as doing other people's songs, but very quickly they wrote their own stuff. So like if I like Elvis, I would rather say I love Carl Perkins. If you guys know Carl Perkins, my country and rockabilly people. Carl Perkins, awesome. I love Carl Perkins. My ICE, my ICE, won't you play with my ICE? The problem is I would have to get that, but what makes my ding-a-ling so funny is he's singing about a bell, but he's also singing about something else there. Because trust me, I listen to lots of songs, and every now and then I will think, can I make it a Train song? And most of the time I'll just like, nah, nothing's working. Every Train song I've done, it wrote itself. I was listening to music, heard 20 songs on the playlist, nothing clicked, and all of a sudden one song came up, and bam. I mean, that's how Wish You Were Here happened. I literally was on my computer listening to some music, and I'm going to this website that gives updates on when trains are being released. And Joyce comes over and looks at what I'm doing on the computer, and she says, what you doing? I said, I'm looking to see if the ICE 3 has an update. I said, gosh, I wish it were here. And then I just looked at her and go, how I wish it were here. How I wish it were here. And Joyce said, that's your next song, isn't it? And I said, yep, I believe it is. And 15 minutes later, it was done. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Herb. Well, you tell Herb I have no clue, because if it's train trivia, I know nothing. I know nothing about trains. In 5 years, I know just a little bit about the German rail system and only the modern era. I know the difference between an ICE 3, an ICE 2, and an ICE 1, and an ICE 4 now. I know the difference between electric locomotive, diesel, and steam. That's my knowledge. I think I can recognize a Great Britain, a UK 37 locomotive, Class 37. I think I recognize those. I think I can recognize a Class 800 HST. On a good day, I might recognize a Class 43. The old Intercity Swan liveries, I think. So, George Nagelmacher's. Nagelmacher sounds like it should be a local beer. Yes, come, drink a Nagelmacher's. It'll naggle you off of your feet. See, is 800 an HST? See, people question me. They're like, you imbecile. You don't know what you're talking about. Exactly. I know nothing about trains. I know my German train, so if it's UK, forget it. See, I just learned 800s aren't HSTs, but they always go so fast. I thought they were HSTs. Or I thought they were high-speed trains. Maybe they're not designated HST, but they travel fast, which makes that high speed. All right, bye, Aberystwyth. 800 is a plastic pig. I like them, Paul. I like them. I think they look cool. They look a little bit like my ICE-3s. To be honest, I haven't looked at a train yet where I thought the design of the train was ugly for the most part. I think there's some of those Terriers and things like that, those little shunters. In Germany and Australia and Germany, Austria and Switzerland, they have the crocodiles. I don't think those are ugly, but I don't think they're cool looking, but I know a lot of people that get excited with crocodiles. He's the founder of the Belgium Orient Express. Haha. Bye, Chris. Take care. Oh, wait. No, Chris is here. I saw CG and never mind. Yeah. Aberystwyth is leaving. Chris is staying. Bye, Aberystwyth Station. Don't be a stranger. Hey, we're back up to 29. So HST is only the Class 43. See, in Germany, HST is any high-speed train. So the IC1s, 2, and 3s are all HSTs. The IC1 and the IC2 are HSTs, high-speed trains. But it's only the Class 43. Okay. No, Chris, I don't want you to leave. Because you're cleaning up after I'm done. You got to earn your keep here. You darn Scotsman. Joel, I have watched it, but I don't watch it consistently. I have seen episodes of it, but I have not watched it consistently. Yes, the Japanese high-speed trains are cool. I mean, obviously, I'm biased towards German, but watching all the UK channels that I've watched and even the Irish channels that show the Irish trains, because I'm into trains now, I respect all of them. For example, I'm not into steam, but I do admire the technology, the engineering that went into making steam locomotives. I'm partial to electric because that's what I tend to ride the most. I'm partial to modern era because that's what I ride and that's what I really am into. But I don't hate a train. There's not a train out there I hate. Now, Joyce is a little different. Joyce rode on an Alex and she hates the Alex. The little green guy coming around here right now. Joyce didn't want me buying this train because she hated the real one. Joyce does not like diesel. That would be interesting, Jason, the maglev in HO scale. Hello, Owen. Welcome in. Welcome back. Gave that one an extra long whistle. An extra long blow. Make all the jokes you want about that. Boom, boom. Thank you. I'm here all week. Try the veal. Let me see. Where's the other guy? Where's my diesel? Where's the diesel whistle? Let's try the other diesel whistle. Oh, not that one. Which one? Which one? Which one? Oh, I got the wrong one on there. Doody. Come on. Over. Bingo, there we go. Yeah, those diesel horns. Oh, Jason, that's a question that I would have never pondered until you ask it. And now it's in the back of my head going, I could do that. I could do that. If Germany had a maglev and I could do that. So I'll say the answer is a definite probably. It's nice to finally just sit down. Now, I got done teaching today at noon because my afternoon stuff got canceled. And it was so nice for the first time again in about a week and a half or more to just sit down and not have to do anything. Now, I've got a crap of stuff I have to grade later, but we're getting ready for exams. Next week's our last week of regular classes, then the following week is exams, and then it's winter break. But yeah, we're still waiting for that ICE4. It's got about another 8 to 10 days to be released, or I'm not going to get it for Christmas. Almost 2 weeks, because it only takes 4 days to get here. But I keep waiting for that email. But it's just been work this year. I have never worked so hard in my life, and I put a lot of work into my teaching. But man, I just have not had a minute to just think about anything else, and then today I finally get to kick back here. Yeah. Now, what city is it? Is it? It's not is it Württemberg? One German city has at least one city I know of in Germany. I want to say it's Württemberg, but I could be wrong. But I think it's Württemberg, has an above rail. It's not a maglev. It's a rail car that hangs down. But it's an above ground rail. I don't know how to explain that. But it hangs down. It is a rail car that shuttles through the city, but it hangs. It's not on track. It's above ground. And I want to say it's all right, bye, Jackie. Take care. But yeah, was that Kieran who said that going back? Somebody mentioned Tim JD mentioned the steamer running well. It's not quite a monorail. It's not quite a monorail. But it's in the city of, I think it's Württemberg. It looks just like a subway train, but it hangs down. You know, what Seattle has is a monorail. But this actually hangs down. It's like one of those rides at a amusement park where you hang from the chassis instead of ride on rails or anything. But they've got an well, it's elevated, but again, if I say elevated, everybody's going to think Chicago elevated subway, the L trains. But yeah, I want to say, you know what, Jason? One of the funny things here is, I like to watch old comedies. I mean, Jack Benny, the Marx Brothers of that. And anyhow, I happened to catch an old documentary from the pre-World War II documentary, which just happened to be attached to this comedy I was watching. And everybody was saying, all these kids today, these people today, yeah, they don't work as hard as we did. And I go, and then I caught this 1950s one. Kids today just don't work as hard. They're all a bunch of punks. And every generation seems to say that about the younger generation. And so it just got into my head, every generation will always complain about the younger generation. And we always say, it's like, I caught this commercial for this mega church pastor. He's based in Ohio. I'm going to risk getting in trouble, but his name is David C. Pack. He basically he's a Christian minister, but his interpretations of the Bible would be heretical to most people. And he runs a commune, and he's very rich. He used to be on TV locally here, but he's a nut job. And he has built tens of millions out of people. But he loves to introduce every one of his shows with this fear stuff. In a world with war, go back. It's always been like this. It's always been like this. The difference is we now have, and we talked about this a couple of streams ago, instant gratification. We now have 24/7 news. When I was a kid, we watched the news at 6 o'clock. Nobody watched the 11 o'clock news in my family. So you only saw the news local 6 to 6:30, national 6:30 to 7. And unless you read the newspaper, you didn't know. You didn't know what was going on. Now we know what's going on everywhere. And of course, good news doesn't sell. And it's not like, the liberal media lies and blah, 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 or the conservative. It's not that. They put what draws people to watch. And we all turn our heads and watch a car crash. We all do. We're all drawn to that. But the truth is that you gotta understand and live by is 90%. Do you understand? 90% of the people in the world today did nothing wrong. They hugged their wife or child. They went to work and did their job. They went outside and took a breath of fresh air and said, isn't this a pretty day? Or they grumbled about the rain. But that doesn't make the news streams. And I don't blame the news for it, because we're the people who tune in. We're the people who turn on Fox or turn on CNN. If we stop watching that crap, maybe they'll put better stuff on. But, indeed, Jason. Wuppertal, that's it. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Herb. Both of you, awesome. It's always, in America we talk about the dirty politics, but one of the coolest things I remember reading when I was younger is when they found Pompeii, when they discovered Pompeii and started excavating it, They found scrawled on one of the buildings on a fresco, the artwork, they found scrawled, don't vote for Lucius Gaius whatever, he molests sheep. I'm like, that's from 2,000 years ago. So even mudslinging's not new. And that's the thing is, I just will always be a positive person in that regard. I have seen the ugliest parts of humanity in my own childhood growing up, in my own household with my siblings. But to preach here, Anne Frank, knowing that any day she could be arrested and knew about the gas chambers, the last line she wrote in her diary was, all in all, I still think people are good. If a child going through that kind of a horror can still believe in mankind, I will too. I like people. There's individual humans I don't like, but I like humans. I think we're awesome. As much as people love dogs, no dog ever looked at a sunset and said, isn't that beautiful? No dog ever looked at something the puppy did and said, I'm proud of you. And got that love back. Yes, a dog will love its puppies. Not the same way we humans can love. Yes, we humans do horrible things, so do lions and dogs and chimpanzees and eagles and everything else. We just can make morality about it. But humans are good. We're good stuff. We do all kinds of cool things. It's the bad things we do that make the news. There, I'm done. I'm done preaching. I'm sorry if that offended anybody. I lost 5 people, so. Oh, news even in the old days was opinions. I mean, let's face it. The great Hearst once said, You provide I'll provide the pictures, you provide the war. The thing is, when the news tells us something we disagree with, well, it's just opinions. That's why I like all the non-partisan fact check stuff. Because we could argue politics, and all of a sudden, then we're not the happy, friendly community. You're seeing it in England, you're seeing it in the United States, the divide. Because the politics have gotten so ugly. But it's not the media. The media is going to say what the media says. We've gotten kind of crazy. People are mad, and they don't know what to take the mad out. And we've all been cooped up for several months, and we're all sick of it. But you'd have to go to your great-grandfather to remember what it was like to be cooped up during the influenza of 1919. Back then, they were used to being home on their ranch anyhow. But Americans specifically, because I won't lump other people into it. I know Canadians are different. I know Germans definitely are different. But Americans will read the headline and nothing else. We'll read an article that says something that maybe we would agree with, but we won't trace its source. Where did this article come from? And again, I will completely avoid politics. I'll shut everything down if it goes politics. But I'll go back to that guy I was talking about. Now, I'm not asking you to agree or disagree, but this David C. Pack, this evangelical minister, in one of his commercials that he threw on the internet that I saw, he quoted Carl Sagan as saying that Carl Sagan knew evolution was wrong and he died a born-again Christian. That's not true. None of that was true. Carl Sagan, whether you agree with the viewpoint or disagree with the viewpoint, died firmly believing in evolution, which wasn't even his field of study. He was a cosmologist. But he also died an atheist. He was an atheist. But, but this guy makes that quote and nobody fact checks it. Nobody goes back and says, But that was his goal, to go after somebody that in my growing up period was a very famous scientist, pro-science. And so this gentleman felt he had to try to convince his flock that this guy changed his mind at the end because it suited him. And I don't care what you believe. I'm not worried about that. But when somebody intentionally lies, that gets my hackles up. Tim, we did believe everything back then. But a lot of what we believed back then was a bit of a lie. My father went to Korea to fight the godless commies. Filled with American patriotism and hatred of the commies. He lost an eye. He met people. He met prisoners of war. Found out they were human. My dad's view of war and politics changed drastically after that. Things happen in the world, but part of it is the world can now quickly show us a lie or show us the lie, if you get the difference between the two. And we just have access to so much more. I mean, Eisenhower didn't always tell the truth. Kennedy didn't always tell the truth. Nixon certainly didn't tell the truth very often. It's just sometimes we liked believing it. That's why I laugh when I've got a couple of friends that are like, oh man, the 1950s were so much better. People weren't so offended back then. No, they were offended. They just felt like they'd get beaten to a pulp or lynched if they spoke out. I would rather have today where a gay person can come out and say, I'm gay. And if people say, well, I'm sick of everybody coming out announcing they're gay. Well, they wouldn't have to announce it if we still weren't being uptight about it. I don't care who you sleep with. It's not my business. I've had a gay man walk up to me and tell me how good looking I was. And I asked him if he was blind. I wasn't scared or freaked out because I'm not gay. I was like, thanks, dude, but have you seen me? I'm not worried about it. But back in the 50s, you could make fun of gay people because Rock Hudson was too scared to come out of the closet. It would ruin his career. It would ruin his life. I'd rather let these people now say, for years you've called us this. We have sports teams in this country that have bad names. And I'm in favor of changing them. I'm a Cleveland Indians fan. Do I think we need to change the name? No, because Indian itself is not derogatory. But the Washington football team, the Washington Redskins, they've been forced to drop their name because that is racist. And if you're white, you can't turn around and say, oh, people shouldn't be so offended. No, if I want to know if Redskins offensive, I'm going to ask a Redskin. I'm going to ask an Indian. Is that offensive to you? Why, yes. Yes, it is. Then go. And that's so, that kind of went political there. I need to shut myself down. Hi, Heath. And so, it just, the difference of the 50s and now, first of all, the 50s, all the jobs were in the UK, in the United States, before the factory owners took them to Asia in the 70s. So Americans had lots of money. Well, now we don't have those jobs and money. You can go on to that spiel. But in the 50s and 60s, you could say stuff and get away with stuff because the people you were mocking felt helpless to defend themselves. Now they're like, you know what? I can defend myself. I can speak up. I have a brother who's gay, and when he announced he was gay, I was mad at him, but not because he announced he was gay, but because my brother and I, since we were little children, had been told we were the last of our bloodline. We were the last of the male Dodges of this bloodline, blah, blah, blah. You're the last of the Dodges. You have to grow up and have lots of sons, lots of sons. And then my brother went gay, so I looked at, or he went gay, he was gay. But my brother came out as gay, and I looked at him and said, you bastard, now you're letting me have to put up with all this alone. You know, it's like, don't nag me about kids, I'm gay. And I'm like, thanks, John. Now I'm stuck with all the nagging. Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, but the point is, it is pejorative. And in the end, you know, there are names we give people and names that they adopt for themselves. I mean, but in the end, if a group of people says we don't want to be called that name, then I'm like, okay, let's not call them that name. On the flip side, do I think the Cleveland Indians need to change their name? No. But if they're worried about it, the nickname for the Indians is the Tribe. We always call them the Tribe. They could change the name to Tribe, because if you just change your name to Tribe, then who knows if you're talking Native American tribes, Germanic tribes, Celtic tribes. You're just the Tribe, right? Not a big deal. But the logo, Cleveland's Chief Wahoo, was racist. Yeah, I think we're going to start delving into territory that's going to hurt people or offend people again. But that's just it. People, you know, we say people are more offended today, but I mean, there's stuff from the 60s and 70s I laugh at that we all know you couldn't put on TV today. But at the same time, I know the worst jokes about gay people I get told by gay people. Oh, you want to hop in here real quick? Well, you can just pull that outside the chair and just watch that one cord. Well, you might slide the chair first. We're being invaded, people. The cops are here. The secret police. The PC police are here. She's trying to rearrange everything right now. Here, I'll put this up. I think that's enough. I don't know, is it ever enough? Enough is never enough. Your fans are already saying hi. Hey, that's my teacher's desk. I'm teaching. I moved this wire over to this side, so now it'll reach much further. So
hi, everybody.
Yeah, let me turn his.
Oh.
There you go. There you go.
So, hi all, and
It's the wife.
Hope everybody's doing well. It was a long week.
Richard is saying, Joyce, thank you for letting Anthony stream later.
Oh, Richard, it's fine. We want to support you.
Hey, it was my idea. You didn't give me permission. It was my idea.
Okay, Tony wanted to support you, and I support him. So we wanted to support you.
Joyce is a supporter.
I am.
Oh, Hover Motion just released a new video.
Okay.
Cool. Well, you guys leave. I'm going to go watch Hover Motion's new video. No, I'll check it out afterwards. Now, it's just you and me for dinner tonight, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I'd like to go out and get a couple more things.
Oh.
Oh.
Then you're on your own.
Well, I could do it in the morning.
You can go out on your own. I'm not in the mood to go to any more stores.
Okay. Well, go in the morning. Well, Richard, we try to be.
I'm just, yeah, you had checked and you were up to 20. You should have been up to 35 there because I threw in 15 earlier, Richard.
Yes, you did.
15 pounds, which comes out to about 20 bucks.
Yes, it was. I'm trying to balance the checkbook.
Randall, the vast majority of my trains are by a German company called Märklin. Not all of them are Märklin, but most of them. Let me see. This blue guy going through here. All right, let's change to running them through here.
Did you put this year's on, I think? That green one?
Yes, the green one is this year's car.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, so that green guy going through, that's by a German company called Pico, not the British company Pico, the German company Pico. This blue guy here is also Pico. So the green guy and the blue guy are Pico. And then I have a train by a company called Rocco, but it's parked. But otherwise, all my trains, other than those three, are by Märklin. So there's the green and blue guys. So those are my two Picos. Now, what most people here from the UK and the United States don't know is that Märklin is the largest model train company in the world. They make more model trains and they make more money in model trains than any other train company. Now, if you're into G scale, then you know Märklin's G scale company, LGB. Märklin owns LGB. They also make my trains, Randall, are all 3-rail, so this is an AC layout, 3-rail track. But Märklin makes all this stuff in 2-rail under a company name called Trix, Trix. So all my track is by Trix, or is by Märklin. My control system is all Märklin. But I don't have a camera to show you that. I actually tried to install a 6th camera earlier today, and my camera's all through a temper tantrum. They all quit on me. They all said, if you're adding him to the chat, we're leaving. So I couldn't add him. But I don't know if my voice is going to go. Was Trix ever owned by Hornby? I didn't know that. I know Trix has been owned by Märklin for 30-some years now. This is my layout. This is what my table looks like, and then the 5 cameras, what angle they're coming from. But this is not all my layout. On the right-hand side, as you look at this map, there's a little parking area where I have my big trains, my high-speed trains parked, because none of my high-speed trains are out. Well, technically, the Czech Railjet's a high-speed train. But all my trains are Central European. They're German. One's Austrian, one's Czech. The rest are all German. This blue guy coming through right now, let's go to the 11-lane view. This blue guy right here is a Czech railjet. A railjet is a high-speed train built by a German and Austrian company, but they make a version for the Czech rail system as well. So it's called the railjet. But they are gorgeous trains. They're probably my favorite trains, inside and out. The Austrian railjet's even better, but I do like the Czech railjet. Athearn is a good brand. What's the one that just went out of business? MTH, although the workers were still trying to do an employee buyout. I don't know if that ever went through or not. MTH, I thought, looked like they made quality trains. But Märklin makes high quality stuff. Märklin doesn't make crap. They make beginner stuff that if you're not a collector, you might say it's crap, but it's still high quality and it's excellent bang for your buck. It's excellent money for what you get if you buy a Märklin starter set for kids, which, well, in America would be, well, it's Märklin, but with the controller and everything, the digital controller, the cheapest one would translate to about 200 American dollars, and all the way up to, well, they have a double train set that's about 1,000 American dollars. It's a double train set, but that's a starter set with high quality stuff in it. It's not your kid's starter set. But I don't know anything about trains. I mean, my last train was a Tyco in 1970, and then I got into German trains because of my trips to Germany about 5 years ago, and that's what I run. So I'm not a train aficionado. I don't know anything about trains. In fact, the rule was that I had to have ridden on the train before I bought it. That I actually had to ride on the train. But then Joyce decided I needed a freight train, and we've never ridden on a freight train. But she bought me a freight train and a whole bunch of cars. So when you see this freight train going around, that's Joyce's.
It's authenticating your
Right.
station.
She was making it more authentic because we don't use the P word.
That's right.
Right, we don't use the P word.
No, we don't. Sometimes we try.
It slips out
I need
occasionally.
2 more cars and they don't exist. Yeah.
So when you see the freight guide coming across the back here and then coming around, that is almost all Joyce. My friend Herb from Canada threw in a couple of these cars, but the rest of it Joyce bought.
That Christmas train is noisy.
Yeah, he's doing all his steam shoveling and
Yeah,
everything.
it is.
His coal shoveling.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's even got the firebox lights up.
yeah, I see that.
Paul is saying, Joyce, please sing up.
Sam?
Sing up.
Oh,
I think he means speak up, but
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
Joyce has a voice that doesn't project well.
No, no.
I have to do this all the time.
Hi. Yeah.
Hey, Christopher, how you doing,
I do
sir?
all right when I'm teaching, I think.
Chris, you keep going live, but I'm not available when you're going live. I know that's not your fault. You go live when you can, but I do miss being there. So yeah, I try to throw this as close to Joyce as we can so that her non-projecting weak voice, can you believe she's a teacher with that weak voice?
No, it's all gotten.
Oh, I'm sorry. Correcting. He says you were singing and he wanted you to sing it louder.
Oh,
You were
sorry,
humming or
I
singing.
was humming.
What were you humming? Do you know?
I don't know.
You don't know now?
Well, I don't know the name of it. Or the words.
I don't know the words. That's why I was humming. Okay. Yeah, Tycho. So that was it. It was a Santa Fe. What are those called? F7s, F9s? I don't know. Every time I say an F, people laugh at me. He said F8. There's no such thing as F8s. I don't know. But it was the Santa Fe Super Chief with like 3 Santa Fe boxcars and a caboose. And I played with it for about 1.5 years and threw it in a toy chest and never played with it again. And I didn't get into trains until I rode trains in Germany and decided I liked trains and thought it'd be cool to put one in my classroom. And that's the story everybody now knows. But if you hadn't heard the story, there it is. I got into the trains because I bought one for my classroom and said, wow, these are cool. And but it's digital. All my trains are digital. They have the multiple functions. They're all digital, sounds, lights, all kinds of sounds.
Oh my god, like 5 ads. This is number 3.
All right, then, Jason, if there's an F7
No, it wasn't.
and there's an F9, how come I got laughed at when I said an F8? If there was a 7th generation and a 9th generation, shouldn't there have been an 8th generation? Because I did that, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I said an F8, and 4 people laughed at me and said, F8? Ha, you idiot. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know. It was an F something. All I know is an F4 is a jet fighter, and
That was the wrong lyric to go for.
it was the wrong lyric to go for. But it didn't come out on the market. Quickly replaced by the F9. So maybe the one I had was an F8 because it didn't last very long. It just didn't get replaced in my world. But I don't dislike American trains or anything else. I just have no connection to them. Joyce and I do think someday we're going to ride Amtrak across the country.
I think it's possible, yeah.
We've talked about it. Maybe
A lot
riding
of-
the
lot
Canadian
of
Rocky
time to
Express or
spare.
whatever that one is.
Take a couple books along and be prepared for delays.
We know, yeah, we know. We know how to travel by train. Joyce and I have never even rented a car in Germany. It is trains and trams and buses. And buses only to get around inside the city. Train to go from city to city. But we are quite proficient train travelers, aren't we?
But
You're on your phone again.
I don't know.
Oh, you're still trying to find out what song you were singing.
That's not it. Yeah, I don't think I can get it.
See, I learn something new every day. That's why I love this train community. If you're willing to listen, there's always something new to learn.
There we go.
But I still know nothing about American trains. I know some of the companies because they come through Toledo. I remember Conrail, and you see CSX or CMX. See, I forgot already. One's the track cleaning car, and the other one is an actual rail company. CSX, I think. But most of my experiences with trains were being in a hurry to get to work or somewhere and being stopped by a train and having to wait 15 minutes going, stupid train! But, you know, I'm in that attitude now. If you're into trains, that's cool. I don't care what your hobby is. Model trains, wargaming, Dungeons and Dragons, anime, manga, whatever your hobby is, it's cool. Do it. If it makes you happy, do it. Now, unless your hobby is skinning cats in front of little children, well, then that probably needs to be curtailed. But for the most part, whatever your hobby is, it's cool. I don't judge people's hobbies. If your hobby is getting tattooed, go for it. Yeah, Jason, thank you for that information. That is one of the ones we want to go from Chicago, and then there's one that goes through down around the Grand Tetons and goes into central Southern California, or maybe it goes into Sacramento, I think. I'm trying to remember. And then we want to take the one, the coastal one from Sacramento up to Seattle.
Oh, no.
And then we also want to do the one that does the Canadian Rockies, goes across the plains of Canada and over to the Canadian Rockies. But then I also want to do the glacier, the Swiss Glacier Express. That was a possibility on our trip to Germany because we were going to go into Switzerland a couple of times while we were in Germany. And we were thinking we might just hop and go grab an all-day train ride through Germany and catch the Glacier Express, or through Switzerland, but it didn't happen. But again, the Donner Pass. I'm scared to ask what they would offer as a meal on the Donner Pass trip. I think I'll pass, or at least stick with the fish. It's all right. Tastes like chicken. Donner, party of 9. The Donner Party Express. Hey, welcome, Possum Bayou.
You need some night time.
Oh, well, I did start late.
Yeah, you did. How long are you going?
Oh, probably only another 10 minutes or so, unless a funny line gets me going again. Try the new Donner Party Express train and meal. No, thank you. Try our finger sandwiches. No! No. The Donner Express. No finger sandwiches.
Oh, true that.
I'm sorry, too soon?
There's amazing reading what this poor people went through.
It is.
That's terrible planning and
It was, yeah, but it was really planning. You know, you got people telling them,
Yes.
don't take that shortcut. It's not a shortcut. Now we're going to take the
Yes, say the
shortcut.
devious
Make sure you
path.
leave by May. Oh, we're going to leave in June. Oops. You know, it was like Hitler's invasion of Russia. If you don't leave by the beginning of May, don't invade. And then they waited till June 22nd to invade. Well, I mean, it's good the bad guys make mistakes, but still.
true that.
I don't know. Do you suppose some of the Donner family is going to haunt me for making jokes about it? I'm not the only one.
Oh, certainly not.
And if no, they followed one instruction book, but then somebody mentioned the shortcut. And they decided to take that shortcut, and all the people who traveled in front of them said, don't take that shortcut unless you go by a certain date. And they left too late, but they tried to take the shortcut anyhow. I forget what the shortcut was. But instead of taking the Oregon Pass, they took a different pass, and it was like, if you don't hit that pass by July 1st, don't use it. And they were like end of July by the time they got there.
Well, and it snowed early that year too.
They had an early snow,
Yeah,
but again, that's why the guy was telling them.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, they did have a guy's book, but they ignored the warnings.
I don't know.
There, somebody's joining in with the cannibal humor.
Have a beans and a nice candy.
But what happens if a Donner Party visits you, haunts you? What do you offer? You know, offer them a sandwich? What do you offer them?
Yeah, I'm sure it's horrible.
I got enough other ghosts I pissed off in my life to haunt me. Heck, I got people who aren't dead yet, their ghosts haunt me. I got my own ghost that haunts me, although he hasn't been around in a few months.
Yeah, it's time, I think.
It's time.
Poor guy, he's getting all cobwebby.
Ghost of 2015 hasn't made an appearance in several months. I wonder what's become of him. I guarantee he's not going to show up as long as I've got this beard.
That is a wee bit of a problem.
It is a problem for him.
Well,
The Ghost of 2015 doesn't like the beard.
Since he's been away for so long, perhaps he's grown one.
Since he's been away, he's grown one too.
You know, we did them November.
But I never had this beard in 2015. I didn't grow a beard that year.
Oh, how in the world do you keep it straight? Your beard, no beard, always food.
It's not a foo. I don't have a foo. I have a goatee.
Always go.
It's either a beard or a goatee. I haven't had the foo since I was in my mid-20s. Late 20s.
I don't think I liked it either.
I couldn't grow it in properly. It wasn't even quite a foo. It was a fuck you. I couldn't. I had that little nude right here. So it'd grow to here and then grow to here, but I could not get the full foo to grow.
Yeah,
So it wasn't so much of a foo as it was an FU.
right. Whew.
I've never grown a really long beard. If I grow too long a beard, she kicks me out of bed.
I don't like it. Mm-mm.
Yeah, she kicks me out of bed.
This is okay, but it's gotta look neat.
She doesn't like the long beard. I once grew a hippie beard, and yeah, it had to go. She did not like it.
Yeah, you heard about it. I don't mind other people having long beards.
Nope, you hate everybody with long beards. Santa Claus doesn't come anymore because you yelled at him about his long beard. Our kids saw Mommy kissing Santa Claus, and you complained about the beard, and Santa Claus never came back.
Boy.
Actually, I have a little bit of hair. I got a little bit of hair on my chin that I can bite my lip and see part of my beard right under my lip. I can do that and see it, but otherwise, no, I can't. My beard's not long enough for me to see it. Like I said, I grew my hippie beard one time. I had a ponytail and a hippie beard, and you said that was enough.
Yeah.
I was just at the point where I was going to start going bald, and I wanted my hair to go out in style, so I went full hippie.
Well, when you started going for the tambourine, I said you went too far, buddy.
Yeah, I had the tambourine and the little Hare Krishna suit, and was begging at airports, and you said that's enough. The beard.
I know you were trying to get on the softball team, but
Yeah,
still.
that was always your joke that I would become a Hare Krishna to join their softball team. Hey, she got on the naughty list. I'm always good.
What?
You're the naughty one.
What?
You're the naughty one.
When? Ow.
This is a PG show, dear.
For sure.
I made sure my eye wiggle was off camera. So that they didn't know what we were talking about.
The whacking was on camera.
Indeed. Of course, they did see me shooting up heroin earlier. Ooh, Daddy liked that. The train did too.
Yeah, I sure did.
The train was all kinds of pretty colors after that. Ooh. Oh, let's do it one more time before we go off the air. Although I am out of.
Out of what?
I'm out of fluid. I'm out of fluid. We'll do this and then we'll call it done. Whoops, whoops. There's still a little bit in there. Hey, you want to hold that bottle? See, she even shares in my heroin habit.
Where were you when I needed help with the dog?
Hiding.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to give our dog allergy shots once a month. You better believe the whole family ran when it was time.
See, you started talking and it was too much. All right.
Oh, teachers are naughty. Well, that covers both of us.
All right, let's crank this mother up.
Go, baby, go.
Bye, make sure it starts to.
Chris.
Is Chris leaving?
Yeah.
All right, bye, Chris. Well, I'm going to be ending soon, but I wanted to get this guy going. All right, let's have him take off and see how long it takes him to get going.
I'm worried about the cats
Oh,
in the tree.
are
See
you?
the thing Jackie shared?
No.
You said that was enough. This is something you
I don't know. All of a sudden, it's not smoking it up, so I thought I'd add a little more.
Oh, I see.
Ah, see? There we got it. Ah, screw it.
Shaky hand.
Yeah, well, now you know why we don't custom build anything anymore. The hands start shaking. All right, that should be enough. Let's get them rolling, I hope. Come on. Takes a little while for it to heat up. If not, too bad. Yeah, Aberystwyth already yelled at me for making my... That wasn't prototypical.
Ah!
He took off too fast. I was like, don't you go there. Hey, Jerry Satz came in. That's still not going. Oh, I'd even do the other fun stuff he does. Why is he not smoking? Because smoking's bad for you. It is kind of mandatory to run German trains and drink beer. The problem is I'm on some medication right now where I'm not allowed to drink beer. Although I'm hoping I'll be off that medication soon.
Needs the solar panel thing to charge the battery.
It is the Christmas train. I forgot to show what else it does. It plays Christmas music.
German Christmas music.
Deutsche Weihnachtslieder.
The train freak is in.
All right. Take care, Jason. I appreciate you stopping by. Oh, there it is. Now it's steaming. All right. Yay. Just had to warm it up enough. Now it's steaming. Choo-hoo. Let's slow him down just a bit. I said slow him down, not speed him up. All right, we'll put this on the 11th.
Sounds like a strangled cat. More like a strangled train, actually, but it's still cute.
Haters. All right, let's get him on the 11-lane view. All right, here he comes. All right, so there we go. Whoops, left the whistle on. Oops. Forgot that wasn't the... Sounds interesting. Scale trains. I'll look at that site later. I'll try to remember it. I better write it down. Whoops. All right, quick. Station. Darn it. By the time I hit it, he'll be out of it. There we go. Puffing through the station. I'm going to slow him down a bit more. And then village view. There, now he looks a little more reasonable. So for those of you who like steamers, there's your steamer train steaming. Okay, yeah, we're starting to drop people anyhow.
It's
all right.
It's almost 11 o'clock. No, it's not. It's almost 10 o'clock.
11 o'clock in Germany.
Yeah.
No, it's almost 11 o'clock in England. Yeah, 6 hours. It's almost midnight in Germany.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Well, we got to do dinner anyhow.
Yeah.
Oh, he must have the Z scale. Yeah, if he's running German trains, it's probably Märklin and it's Z scale. Z scales are tiny.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, it does.
Should he run out that smoke or does it not matter?
It doesn't matter. It'll be in there as long as I don't tip him upside down.
Sure. Z is the same as tabletop? Is it?
No. Then again, it might have been tabletop. Tabletop is halfway between N gauge and HO. Tabletop is 1 to 120.
Okay, the inside is.
Yeah, well, it's that computer.
Yeah.
Oops. All right, guys. I want to thank everybody for once again joining me for absolutely nothing. It's amazing some of you come back, but I appreciate it. We'll be back next Friday. Again, we come on half an hour later than usual. And please, especially those of you in the UK, go to Trains in the Attic. And if you can, support that charity. It's a cancer and hospice center. And he comes on every day at 8:30 UK time, 3:30 US Eastern time. So whatever that is. But if you're in the UK, go over to Trains in the Attic and just click on any of his Advent live stream, 24 Days of Christmas videos. He'll have a link to it. And throw in a couple of pounds, 5 pounds, whatever it is. I just donated 15 pounds myself because I kind of spread the weight. And other than that, I'm going to tell everybody, Auf Wiedersehen and Tschüss, happy train.